Dr. Fatteh, welcome in Curacao Chronicle. Thank you for this opportunity. You are the director?
Chancellor.
The Chancellor of Avalon University.
Yes.
Can you tell us about Avalon University?
I think I can spend probably more than an hour explaining about Avalon University. In order to really explain the university, you may have to listen to my background.
Sure.
I'm a practicing physician who just retired recently in the United States. And I was also in part of the faculty in the United States in a local medical school to teach the medical students for almost 40 years. And when I was 40 years, wow. Yes. Yeah.
Vast experience.
Yes, so I think that is exactly my point. I thought maybe I should utilize this experience and the knowledge and whatever I accumulated in a positive way, and I thought about Avalon. And whatever we have done here mirrors whatever we were teaching in the medical school in the United States. Same kind of curriculum, same kind of program. The evaluation of the professors. We have 15 full-time professors and 10 other people working on the island, besides about 25 people in Ohio, where we talk about how to curriculum, set the curriculum and stuff like that. So all these things, I thought I can do it, and we did it. It took us a long time, but our curriculum is equivalent to any medical school in the United States. We can say that confidently because accreditation is that. When you get that accreditation, their standards of accrediting any medical school are equivalent to standards of the United States medical school.
So that means that a student, when they're done here, they can work in the United States?
Absolutely. Yeah, and for that I think I can expand a little bit by saying that one of the bodies that govern or controls the flow of the doctors in the United States is called ECFMG, Educational Council of Foreign Medical Graduates. So what they decided 3-4 years back was that starting with 2020, they will start implementing a process. They will select 3 accrediting bodies as of today. They have them. And any school in the Caribbean that is not accredited by them, by 2023, they will not accept those graduates. There are 80 plus medical schools in the Caribbean. There are only 15 to 17 medical schools that are accredited.
You received this recently, right?
Yes. Yes. And I probably will be able to provide you with that original document by CFMG that may, if there is a dispute or any question, students can refer to that. What has happened is that people are scrambling and they want to get into the medical schools that are accredited. Unfortunately, there are certain schools that don't project themselves properly. There are very handful of medical schools that are accredited, and it's all listed in ECFMG, on ECFMG website. You go there and they will say that ACCM, CAAM-HP, which is a Caribbean one. ACCM is from Ireland, and there is one from Dutch. It's called NVAO. These are the only 3 medical schools that would accredit the medical, those are the accrediting bodies, that will accredit medical schools in the Caribbean. None other count. And people unfortunately come up with some other accrediting agencies and say, yes, we are accredited. So I urge the students to look into this, study that. And come 2023, ECFMG will not accept any graduate that doesn't have accrediting medical schools.
So if they still go to a school that's not accredited and they do finish, that's it for them. They can't continue. They can't continue.
No, yeah, they can go and practice wherever they came from. Like if they came from Nigeria or India or other countries, yes, you can go back and practice. But the bottom line is that you travel so much, and you came to Avalon. Your goal is to really settle down in the United States. Of course, you have to qualify.
Mm-hmm.
And to qualify, this is what you need.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important.
Yes.
But I have a question. I always had a question. And why the Caribbean? Why did you choose the Caribbean?
I think the biggest factor of choosing it was that there was an opportunity to draw the students from the United States and Canada.
Okay.
If you go to South America, it's a little bit too far. If I go to India, it's too far. So this was the closest location where I could establish a medical school. Obviously, what that does is to reduce the expenses and also gives me an opportunity to impart or stamp my own credibility into a medical school because it's close. Like I'm going to spend a month and a half, 2 months this time in the winter. What am I going to do? I'm going to attend every lecture by every professor in this school because I taught it for 40 years. And then I'm going to tell Dr. Arja, our executive dean, and Dr. Bala, our dean of basic sciences, that this is my impression. I'm not going to get involved with choosing the professor or guiding the professor, but I'm going to guide the two main people, and I'm sure they will take my advice.
But yes, with the 40 years of experience, I'm sure that the students would like to know what's your opinion on what's being taught.
Yes.
Because, for example, if I had the opportunity to listen to a journalist that's been working for 40 years, I'd like to get as much as possible from him. Yeah. I'm sure the students would like to do that.
Yeah, I do that. I attend the class and I talk to the students, and when we have this, white coat ceremonies and, orientation days, I talk to them. The only reason I cannot teach any subject is because I'm not there for the whole semester.
Oh, okay.
You see, if I start doing that, then I have to live here. And then the other part suffers, where the nerve center I was talking about, where we define the curriculum, we also pick the textbooks and courses and everything, and talk with Dr. Arja and Dr. Bala here, and we communicate and figure out that this is what we want to do. I cannot do that if then I only become a professor with no input.
You want to have
anything
a bird
else.
view of everything.
Yeah, I got to be at the 35,000 feet and do this in order to make this efficient, and I think it maximizes my experience to be imparted to the students.
Tell us about Ohio. You said that was the nerve center of
yes.
the school. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, what happened is that I practiced in Ohio for 30 plus years, and the medical school that I taught is in Ohio. Okay. And I'm not boasting, but by the way, when every year they have anonymous voting by the students for the professor of the year, whom they like the most. I got 2 awards, and those are the most precious awards I ever had. Okay. There are a lot of other things I have, trophies and everything, but students picking you as the best teacher is absolutely the best thing. So what happens is that while I was retiring, I thought this would be the ideal location because everything was there. My house was there, obviously I was living there, so it made it very convenient. And then we decided that Curacao was welcoming. Our charter was in Bonaire first, then at the time of independence, we moved it to Curacao in 2010, and they welcomed us with open arms. All the departments of the government.
I was just going to ask you, how did the transition go from Bonaire to Curacao? You just said they have welcomed you with open arms.
Yes.
Did you have any problems while you were here trying to get things going?
Yeah, there nothing that I would say was insurmountable. Okay. We had a problem finding a proper school building. Okay. So we were in a smaller place. We grew, fortunately, and we got this one. And in the future, the government was nice enough, as you know, to give us 13 acres of land in Terracora. And the plan is that in the next few years we will build a campus. We got the accreditation. We are the only accredited school in the Caribbean. I mean, in Curacao, sorry. And we are one of the 2 schools in the Caribbean that have 2 accreditations, both CAAM and ACCM. So significant achievement. So we feel very comfortable about the educational part and what we're going to do for the students. Now, what do we do to enhance their educational experience?
The physical part.
Physical part.
Physical part. So now that you said that, let's talk about the future. The future of Avalon University. What does the future entail? What does it have?
I think I see that by 2023, this is obviously my vision, there will be not more than 20 to 25 medical schools in the Caribbean. What that will mean is that currently if you have say 10,000 students applying and getting into medical schools in the Caribbean, those 10,000 students will be divided among those 20 or 25 medical schools.
So you do need that campus, the new campus.
The campus is going to be a priority.
There you go.
You see, that's why I think our plan has worked very well, and I don't want to take credit for that. You know, our executive dean, dean of basic sciences, 2 vice presidents, director of finance in America, my own son is a president. All of them contributed, and we had this grand vision that this is the only way to do it.
Okay.
So that will be the future. That is what is going to happen, because we are very confident about the education part.
Okay.
And you know, even with this, we got the first accreditation in March. Second one we got sometimes in August. And even in this short time, our applications have gone up. We had one of the highest number of students that joined in the last 2 months to start in January.
After those accreditations.
After this was the first real accreditation effect that we see. In the last year, because of the accreditation and better pool of students, we have more than about 300 graduates who are practicing in the world. We have about 150 in other countries, 150 in the US. We also have a tremendous amount of, and these are all because of accreditation. It's a requirement. In order for you to be accredited, accrediting agencies require that our USMLE, the qualifying exam for the American system, you have a higher pass rate. Our pass rate for that exam is over 90%. 90% of our graduates pass. So we are confident that we are going to keep doing well, because they keep coming every 3-4 years. You know, they revisit the schools, they revisit what you're doing to make sure that what they started accrediting is still available. So we are good with that. Our faculty, I can put up against any faculty in the United States, because I know I taught there. I know the qualifications. In fact, last year, and going back, because we filed the application for the accreditation, we had the highest number of publications, research or non-research, among any medical schools in the Caribbean and also in the United States.
It's a good fact.
Yes, so what I mean is that we just don't concentrate on parroting the students. You learn this, cram it, and pass the exam. No, we teach them properly, get them involved in the research, and they become real rounded physicians in order to take care of the patients. It's a tremendous system, and I'll tell you personally, I am very selfish that way, and I said this in the white coat ceremony last Friday, in the sense that I want to create doctors who are going to be treating me. So I have to be very selfish and create an environment where I feel comfortable. Whoever is going to be out there is capable of treating me. In fact, right now my personal physicians that I may have for whatever I have, primary care, surgeons, whatever it is, almost 4 out of 5 are my students. So I feel very good that whatever...
They reflect you. They reflect the way you taught them.
Yes.
They have to be good.
They have to be good, and they feel very very comfortable treating me, because they know the confidence and everything comes with it. So that's what I see here. You know, the students have to be good.
What I learned last time I was here is that your school also teaches the way you deal socially with the
Absolutely.
person when
Absolutely.
you're treating them.
Mhm. Absolutely. I think you hit it on the nail. What we do is not just the teaching part, but every one of the student has a mentor, a faculty mentor and a senior student mentor. And every student has the opportunity after the class work to go to that mentor and talk about whatever they want to talk about. It's not just limited to the education. It's about my apartment, I'm not comfortable there. I have problem getting food, you name it. We even have a psychologist, and anonymously, without us knowing, they can consult her so that there is a privacy
Okay.
for them to take care of their psychological issues, if there are any. There is no stone unturned as far as the medical school is
Do
concerned.
you credit that for the success rate that you're having? Is that
Absolutely, I have no doubt about it.
Okay.
That's another good question. I have absolutely no doubt that if we missed any of these points and didn't do it right, even the psychologists, they go there because we get the monthly bill without the patient's names. So we know they go there, and we know she takes care of them. So you're right, all these things factor into doing it. But obviously the bottom line, 90% of the work is education.
Of course.
And it's here with qualified faculty. It's also over in the United States. I don't know whether you know that or not, but we have almost 2 years of education here after they get into medical school. And the last 2 years are in the United States. That is the biggest advantage that our school has, because in order to apply for residency, they already have 2 years of experience in the American hospital systems.
Are you linked to a hospital in the States?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Every student who passes over here at the end of 2 years, we call it basic sciences, they come to the United States. Then we have 3 locations: Phoenix, Chicago, and West Virginia.
Really? Okay.
And then we put them according to their preference. The students who are coming from California or West Coast, they go to Phoenix,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. So they are taught by the same faculty, clinical faculty, practicing doctors in the United States as any American medical school. Because all these hospitals are teaching hospitals where they do teach American students. So the education is top class, clinical as well as here.
We heard a lot of good things. Still, I need to ask you, what are the challenges that you're facing right now?
I think that's a great question. I think the biggest challenge, if there is any, is that sometimes we have to spend more than necessary time. I'm being very open and frank with you in trying to defend ourselves. In the sense that if there is a medical school somewhere on the island, said I'm accredited, and the student applies here and said, this school is accredited, how can you say that you are accredited and not them? Spend a lot of time in explaining that there are only 3 accrediting agencies, and it's CAAM-HP that rules that, and they are the ones you have to look on their website and find out what it is. I wish there was more openness about where they are, where we are, what is accreditation. But I think come 2023, that particular thing will go away. The second challenge is that in order to do things right, it does require financial backing. That's why we had to pick between where do you want to go? You want to have a proper education first and then build a campus, or build a beautiful campus, but then education will suffer. If we had done the other way, by this time, 2023 would be so close, we will have an empty building. Those are the 2 main challenges, and obviously to pick the right students. For that I'm very comfortable. We have an elaborate procedure. We have an admissions committee which is composed of professors here, secretary staff there, and myself. Once in a while get involved and pick the right students. The GPA, how do you see that? You also have holistic approach, which is a unique thing, which was done in a very reputable American university, where you don't concentrate only on GPA. You don't concentrate on the high marks or MCAT scores and stuff like that. You look at the student as a whole and see as a human being, would he be a good physician? We have, you won't believe this, it'll be a surprise to you, but there are students, and they're very good students now, successful practicing physicians whose scores were borderline. If we went by just the GPA, they probably would not have made it to our school. But we saw the human side of it. You know, no, please look at my enthusiasm. Look at my whatever you want to call, you know, emotions. I want to be a doctor, and I want to succeed. If you don't take me, I'll go somewhere, but I'll prove to you that I'll be a good doctor. And I don't take that as a threat. I think those kind of emotions are important in treating human beings.
Yeah. So you're guaranteeing the world that you're producing good doctors.
World-class physicians.
World-class physicians.
And that term really applies because we have students from all over the world, and we don't just limit it to North America, you know, Canada or United States. They have to be able to go back to India or Nigeria or France, or I'm trying to remember the countries from where we have students.
Yeah.
They have to be able to go back and practice there.
Practice that.
And we are confident we can do that.
Good. Your school, how many students do you have right now?
Right now we have close to 500 students between the United States hospitals and here. At the basic science campus here, I think we are close to about 100 to 110.
Okay. And can locals also apply?
Absolutely. I think I'm glad you're asking really good questions.
I'm sure people
I'll tell you
know
why.
that. Yes.
We have a promotion for local students, and this is the only promotion we give, that whatever the rest of the world pays in dollars, they will pay in guilders.
Wow, that's a good deal.
That's almost $1.70 to $1,
Yeah.
right? And that's the exchange rate. So we have a few students. I don't know the numbers, but I would say close to 10 students here, local students.
That will save a lot of money. They don't have to go to other countries.
They save money a lot different ways, and fortunately for the support we have with the Curacao Medical Center, they want our students now.
Yeah.
You know, at the White Coat ceremony, we had the director of surgery, and he said, "Why don't you come and visit us, and we'll show you the hospital. We would like to have you, your students come and see us." The Minister of Health was there, and she was very supportive of that thing. And I cannot ask for anything more from what I have gotten from the government. And the Prime Minister last night was very, very supportive.
Is there a message before we end our interview that you'd like to share to let's say a young man or young woman is watching and says, well, I'm considering Avalon. What will you say to that person to convince them to come here?
Well, I think it's spread out during the interview, but I think if I have to say something, I would say that like I said before, I would like to create or make physicians who are good enough to treat me. And there is no other better recommendation than that. If he is going to treat me, he better be good or she better be good. And that's what they will get here.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. I appreciate it.